I've got your energy stories for the first week of August, and I'm traveling this week, so we're going to keep it a little bit brief. In the first story, gravity storage company Energy Vault has completed construction of its 400-foot building and 25 megawatt, 100 megawatt hour storage system in China that uses electric motors to lift or lower 24-ton blocks, releasing electricity to or pulling electricity from the grid when it's needed. The project is slated to operate in Q4 and is sited near a wind power facility near Shanghai. The company's CEO recently cited, quote, local announcements of multi-gigawatt hours of energy storage build-outs, suggesting significant projects in the future. Round-trip efficiencies will be in the 75 to 80% range, similar to pump storage, and a little bit lower than lithium-ion batteries that sit around 90%. In bad news for hydrogen train fans, state-owned LNVG rail company in Germany's Lower Saxony has said no to any future investment in hydrogen fuel cell trains, opting instead for lower-cost electric battery trains. It commented that battery electric trains are cheaper to operate. LNVG had invested $85 million in 14 hydrogen trains put into service just 1 year ago, but its next round of clean trains will include 102 battery electric models and 27 electric trains without batteries using overhead lines. There are better ways to put hydrogen to use in decarbonizing our future energy economies. Well, California just passed another electric vehicle milestone with 25% of its vehicles sold in Q2 being electric, totaling 125,939. Cumulative numbers for California and the U.S. stand at 1.6 and 3.9 million respectively, with California at over 41% of national sales. And let's stick another fork in hydrogen while we're at it. While California has over 87,000 EV chargers, it has just 63 hydrogen stations, and the U.S. government reports only 16,816 fuel cell electric vehicles have been sold since 2014. Let's call it a day on hydrogen passenger vehicles, buses, and trains, leave some potential room for long-haul trucks, and move on. The subsidiary of Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems has taken a significant step towards the realization of modular nuclear carbon-free power, submitting an application to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission for a limited work authorization. Approval would allow it to start early construction activities slated for the mid-2025 period for the nuclear project prior to issuance of the combined license and help keep the project on track for a 2029 start date. It's the first application to the NRC for construction of a full-scale commercial small modular reactor. Currently, 27 municipalities in 8 states are supporting this effort to install nuclear units from startup NuScale. Initial estimated electricity delivery costs of $58 per megawatt hour, however, have since soared to $89 per megawatt hour, and the project still remains in question. Some more troubling news for East Coast offshore wind, as Reuters reported last week that BP and its partner Equinor are renegotiating terms of power supply agreements from their massive East Coast offshore wind projects. BP forked out $1.1 billion to Equinor for a 50% stake in the Empire and Beacon projects at 3,300 megawatts in total. BP CEO Looney told analysts in a call, "We will not develop projects that don't meet our revenue threshold of 6 to 8%. Given recent increases in supply chain costs, especially steel, other projects may also be at risk. In Massachusetts, developers of the 1,200 megawatt South Coast wind farm and similarly sized Commonwealth Wind have pulled out of their projects." And one story I missed last month. Amazon is driving its renewable energy footprint into the southeastern U.S., and one of its projects includes Mississippi's first utility-scale wind farm, the AES 185 megawatt Delta Wind Project with 41 4.5 megawatt turbines. The southeastern U.S. has largely been devoid of wind turbines to date, owing to its having much lower wind speeds than the middle of the country. With higher hub heights and larger turbines, though, the wind energy industry is able to access new areas that were previously commercially inaccessible. Look for more projects in the Southeast in years to come. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.